Good afternoon. I'm Victoria Kramer with the KNOP Panhandle Roundup. A former Panhandle law enforcement officer has been sentenced to prison on charges of theft. The Nebraska Rural Radio Association reports that former Scottsbluff Police Captain Brian Wasson was sentenced for 2 counts of theft by unlawful taking. Judge Cindy Volkmer handed down a sentence of 40 to 68 months of each of the charges, ordering them to be served concurrently. Wasson was ordered to pay $7,000 in restitution to the Scottsbluff Police Department after he stole drugs and cash from the Scottsbluff Police Department. He then began surrendering his law enforcement certification in September after advising officials of an addiction, noting to the court that he celebrated a year of sobriety earlier this month. Prior to sentencing, Judge Volkmer stated that his mistakes did not erase community contributions, but his accomplishments do not erase his mistakes. He was then taken into custody by Scottsbluff County Sheriff's deputies following the case. And a Gering man is facing a number of charges after a weekend traffic stop initiated by an illegal U-turn. A Scottsbluff police sergeant pulled over 27-year-old Dalton Slaneka Sunday afternoon after hearing screeching tires in the parking lot. Court documents say that the suspect smelled of alcohol and open containers were in the vehicle. Slaneka even was stumbling and had defecated himself. Police transported him to a healthcare facility where he kicked a nurse, prompting a charge of assault on a healthcare professional, along with charges of DUI and refusal to submit, according to the Nebraska Rural Radio Association. And now turning to weather, meteorologist Justin Kraft is standing by with a check of Panhandle conditions.
Thanks, Victoria. Right now here in the Panhandle, it looks like just clear skies, and it looks like it's going to be mainly clear skies for the rest of today. Temperatures in those 60s, 63 in Sidney, 60 in Kimball, 67 in Scottsbluff, 62 in Alliance. With those temperatures, winds are blowing in from the south at about 14 to 26 miles per hour from the south. And it looks like for the rest of the work week in the Panhandle and into the weekend, tomorrow going to be in those mid-70s, Friday in the lower 60s, and then Saturday in those mid-50s. So it looks like to finish out the work week and into this weekend with those rain and thunderstorms, make sure to have your umbrella with all this activity coming up in the Panhandle.
Hello from the sports desk. The Scottsbluff soccer teams wrapping up the regular season on Tuesday, taking on North Platte. This is the boys contest, and both goalkeepers in this contest strong, as Bearcat JT Painter and Bulldog Brody Sheets would go the distance, giving up no score. They would go into penalty kicks. JT Painter, solid for the Bearcats as he comes up with the save for Scottsbluff. Bearcats making their kicks count. Paxton Dart scoring the goal. Joey Escamilla adding to the shootout total. Talon McDonald making 3 for the Bearcats. And finally is the freshman Abdul Jalal into the net to seal the Bearcat victory. Scottsbluff picks up the win 4-1 in a shootout to end the regular season on a strong note. Up next, sub-districts. Meanwhile, the North Platte girls soccer team, they were on the road taking on Scottsbluff. And the Lady Bulldogs wrap up the regular season with a win, defeating the Lady Bearcats 7-2. Like the boys, up next for both Scottsbluff girls and North Platte girls, the postseason. Local track and field athletes, they were in action out in Scottsbluff on Tuesday to see who is best in the West. Here's a look at the girls' event winners. Big day all around for the Sidney ladies. Talissa Tanquery, Chloe Ahrens, and Carson Lealing all picking up multiple event wins on the day. Carson earning 3 individual titles. Great job by all the athletes participating. While on the boys' side, Isaac Doty of Sidney and Gering's Creighton Bills among the multiple event winners on the day. Great job by all the student athletes participating on Tuesday night. That's all from the sports desk. See ya.
Thanks, John. And now turning to statewide news, a trio of women are facing felony charges for inappropriate conduct with inmates. 3 women are facing felony charges for inappropriate conduct. 47-year-old Nicole Carter is no longer with NDCS. She faces sexual abuse of an inmate, among other charges. 45-year-old Laura Schluckebeyer and 26-year-old Abby Fielder, current corrections employees, are also facing sexual abuse charges. The case still remains under investigation. And Nebraska's leading economic indicator saw a decline during March. The indicator, designed to predict economic activity 6 months into the future, fell 1.31% after a nearly 4% increase during February. Manufacturing hours and building permits for homes were the 2 of 6 components that fell slightly in March. On a positive note, rapid economic growth still expected in mid-2024. And federal funds are heading to a Nebraska nonprofit in an effort to launch a new era of solar energy statewide, according to the Nebraska Examiner. The $62 million Solar for All grant awarded to the Center for Rural Affairs aims to increase accessibility and affordability of solar energy, cutting utility costs by up to 20%. The nonprofit's executive director says it will also cut pollution and serve low-income households. And last night, the United States Senate passed a major foreign aid package, which includes a provision that could ban TikTok in the U.S., a sweeping 79-18 vote. It now heads to the president's desk, where he intends to sign it. It includes nearly $61 billion for Ukraine and $26 billion for Israel, along with some aid for Gaza. As for TikTok, which is owned by a China-based company, lawmakers have been scrutinizing it for years, saying it can be used to spy on Americans. Both Nebraska U.S. senators voted yes in last night's vote. And that's all we have for now. Remember to join us weekdays for the Panhandle Roundup, covering the stories in the Panhandle that matter to you. Have a great day.